Hi, I'm Louisa Higgins, and thank you for joining us for Easy Arts for Everyone. For today's lesson, we're going to do something that involves cultural relevance. Cultural relevance means that we have an appreciation and an understanding for other cultures and their art forms. And so I'm particularly fond of the one we're going to work with today, and this is an homage to Aboriginal art. So Aboriginal art is art that was made by Indigenous peoples in the continent of Australia. And I have this wonderful book that I bought some years ago called Icons of the Desert. And if you look through it, it has lots of wonderful plates that show just what this kind of artwork looks like. And I highly recommend it. Of course, you can find lots of information on the internet as well. And one of the interesting things about Aboriginal art is the oldest art form that exists. So it's really important for us to, as artists and as student artists, to have an appreciation and understanding about it. And the thing that the artists did was they used symbols in their art form. And what they were trying to do, as all artists do, is tell stories and also to transmit information. That they wanted to go on and that they wanted to share. So that is similar to other artists' goals, but theirs was very unique, and you'll see in a moment. And the other thing I'd like to point out is that I'm a big fan of using what you have, using what's available, and that things don't have to be expensive. Case in point, they tended to work with the colors of the materials that were around them in the natural world. So they would use bark, they would use rocks, they would use sand, and so the colors of their artwork tended to be those earth tones, sometimes green, but of course that's what they had to work with, and so that's what they used. So moving on, when we're going to go ahead and make our art piece, the first thing that we want to decide on is shape and color. So we're going to figure out what kind of shape do we want to work with. Is it going to be a bunch of circles? Is it going to be something that we draw that's more organic? And also what colors we want to use. And you need at least two, your background color and your color that you're going to add on to. And it's helpful to use a faint outline of what your shape is going to be, and then you can follow it. So I've done one here. This is just kind of a funky shape that I made up. And I did a lighter color red. Of course, I would use something a little lighter than this if I was doing a formal art piece. And then I want to talk about the power of the dot. So that's what we're using. And as you refer back to the book cover, you see there's repeated dots happening. So these are some items that I picked up at Michael's one day when I was shopping, and they are just very simple acrylic rods. And these are simple little tools that have different size balls on the end of them for making dots. So for today's demo, what I'm going to do is something I've used for years to do this type of painting is a pencil. And so the great thing about a pencil is it has two ends, and the one end that has the fine tip makes a very small dot. So if I just dip it in paint, and this is just basic acrylic paint, and I'm following this shape that I've put on the paper, it's going to give me a small dot, like so. And then if I decide, okay, I want a bigger dot, I'm going to use the eraser end of the pencil. I dip it in, and this is going to give me bigger dots. And the thing of it is as you repeat the dots and move outwards, that's where your shape starts to be readable. And then what's also interesting is the interior space, which you leave alone, and we'll just show your background color. So to give you a few examples that I made for this lesson, this one I used a blue background, and I had a very faint outline of a star, and then I used light green paint to make the dots moving away from the star, and I kept the corners free so that the blue showed through. So I was thinking of the colors of the night sky. And in this one, I have a black background, and I'm also using acrylic paint for this. And then I just started to follow shapes and let my mind take me where it wanted to go. So this is just kind of fun. If you put it vertically, it kind of might look like a little person. So those are some things you can do. But I highly recommend trying this out. You'll find when you're making the little dots, it's a slow-going process, but it's very restful and soothing. So you can have fun with the color, but I think you'll be really surprised at what you create. So I encourage you to try this out, put the music on, and have some fun with art. Please subscribe to our channel, and you'll get all our new videos as soon as they're made. Thank you.